because it's interesting.
It's something people are constantly complaining that no one wants to be a GM.
Yeah.
So
I guess the question though is like, do people want a game without GMs? And I don't think that's true either. I think no one wants to be the GM. They just want someone to make a game for them, and they don't want to do the work themselves.
Well, to be more charitable, I think I've role played in GM-less games, and there's a lot of role play that goes on in chat rooms and VR chat and that sort of thing that's unstructured, or in some extent a LARP. Even though it has GMs, a lot of your role play interactions will not be moderated,
right?
And that's that can be a lot of fun. The complaint I was having about that is that usually winds up where everyone I just want to say pop and J. Maybe that's the word I would use for it. That's when everyone stands around and talks about how cool they are. And because there's no moderator there to force conflict on people, to force incidents to happen, or to make things happen to players that they normally wouldn't want to happen to their characters, the game can get very static. It's just a bunch of people standing around talking about how cool they are.
Yeah. Yeah. That would drive me crazy. But maybe there is a way to set the stage for that. And
I think it can absolutely work. I've seen frameworks, but also everyone has to come to the table expecting that. Like the problem is like Dungeons and Dragons is not that. So
definitely
if people
not,
were told, "Hey, we're going to do Critical Role today," and came to the table, they would be surprised. Critical Role is taking the opposite tack, where the director is very hands-on. In fact, to the point where the players are very subordinate. And very much there to perform. They're there to be told what to do and then embody that, which once again I think can be a lot of fun, but that's a very strong directorial approach.
Right. I think maybe that's like the key to setting up these roleplay things is, of course, to make sure everyone at least has a directorial direction to go. The thing that I would probably tap into here is like some weekend or one day LARPs, where it's a very structured story where specific things are supposed to happen. And the way the people who ran those designed them was that they gave out specific abilities to specific characters to encourage them to go and do the actions that they're supposed to do for their story. Like, all right, you're playing a noble son with high ambition who's being kicked out, so you have a card that says choose somebody you want to duel, absolutely nobody can interfere. You're supposed to use this on your dad and get revenge.
Right, and but that's also set up where I'm seeing this in more text, where that's specifically what I would call an adversarial game, that the players are set up in a position where they'll be working at cross purposes to one another, which is almost anathema to what I'm always looking at, which is I'm always taking the assumption that you're a party of individuals, the Logermulch rule, that you're all here because you all have a common purpose and you're all going to work together to meet that purpose. If you weren't working for a common purpose, you wouldn't be here. We would kick you out. Or you would get so sick of us that you would wander off. Like in a realistic world, that wouldn't happen. And I can see some people, I think, have defined, like Power by the Apocalypse, like many of the manuscripts are defined as they expect the game to have a high adversarial element, which I can understand some people would find that exciting. To me, it just looks like this is an excuse for a big spat for everyone to get upset, that if everyone didn't know that or wasn't expecting that. So I understand that while I was gone, you guys killed me.
Yeah, threw you overboard, tied you up. We just moved on.
Well, time to haunt.
Indeed.
But
I guess we should probably start and also recap a little bit.
I'm sorry, for someone to write in to complain that we have rules for haunted ships, but not how they happen.
Yeah, well, that's pretty funny. I wonder. All right. Well, let's do a recap then, since we're here. I have a recap for you. Rafferty missed this last week. So, you guys, we started last week. You guys were deep in caves in the depths of Inagata, trying to rescue Merryweather and his remaining crew from their fate, being slowly dehydrated and starved to death above a sacred pool in cages made of bone. You guys drove off the Echidna warriors that presumably were the ones who trapped Merryweather's men. And you did manage to free Merryweather and about 6 of his crewmates. And you escaped to the surface, pursued all the while by the echoing hoots and war cries of the Echidna. But you managed to make it out to the surface, and when you got back topside, you had a conversation with Merryweather where you discussed using the map that they found with the pendant that you recovered to find the site of his great-grandfather's lost treasure. You guys head back to Mount Warinta, and there find that his ships have been impounded by none other than the Knife, the kind of gambling kingpin that you met on your first trip to this strange bazaar. And you decide that you're going to help him to get his ships back, and you use this as a bargaining chip to basically convince him to let you in on this journey. You have the information too. Technically, you could just kind of race him there, but you decide that maybe you should work together. And he agrees to part with 1/3 of the treasure for you and your crew, although, in a drunken stupor, he lets Gaston in on the fact that the real treasure is this ship. An ancient ship that itself is supposed to be one of the finest ships ever crafted by Calabrian hands. That was lost when its crew succumbed to an illness. Its holds laden with treasure from across the Feranther seas. So he says he wants 2/3 of the treasure, and he wants the ship. But he would gladly accept your help in the extra crew and skill that you bring to the voyage. So you make an agreement, and you plan to set sail within the week. During that time, Merryweather needs to hire a new crew, and you guys create kind of like a secret campaign to try to get some sleeper agents into this crew. You're able to bribe about 5 men who are eventually hired on the Merryweather's crew to be loyal to you in case things go, awry. And then I believe that's where we left it, with you guys preparing to set sail, making the trip to the destination on the map, which we've added a dot to the north, which on this map is actually to the east of Regsalu. It's a red dot, and I'll give it a text, but that is the site of Merryweather's treasure. Indeed. And yeah, I think that's where we are. So let's do our character intros. We can begin with Arkloyd.
Saving the best for last, are we? Hello, I'm Arkloyd. I play Abla, the Pernina Kamahi Kohatu. Her personality is stubborn, and her motto is chip away.
All right. Next up, we've got Griff.
Hey everybody, I'm Griffin. I'm playing Gaston, the Warlock Marine, whose motto is Perfection Incarnate.
All right. And today we're also joined by Raph.
Hello world, I'm Roman Rafferty, he, him. Today I'm playing Madame de Fernot, the Puranina Pirate. Yeah, ha, ha. And my motto is liberty, equality, camaraderie.
I love the energy. And we also have Theta.
Commodore Cow, Kangaroo Sealet Warrior, personality optimistic. If I die trying, then at least I tried.
All right. And let's see if we die trying today. So.
Yeah, actually, I heard the recap of that, but it went pretty fast. From what I remember, that was a brutal fight. That was shaping up to be pretty nasty, but you managed to prevail.
Yeah, so after you left, what happened? I think Abla did some pretty brutal damage. I mean, I'll pitch it to you guys too, what you remember. Basically, you guys managed to get an overkill, I believe, on one group that caused the rest of that group to break and run. And I think Cow and I guess more of the militiamen, right? Did a similar thing to the second group. So, yeah, they kind of bailed and then were going to regroup and come back in force.
Right.
But you guys made some very good rolls, basically cage destroying rolls, essentially, to get people out.
And
and
you quickly and then escape before they got back.
Yep, we made some rolls during the escape too, but you guys navigated your way back pretty well, pretty smartly, and avoided further conflict. So yeah, boomerangs, man, they kick ass. If I was gonna play a character in this campaign, Boomerang Master, that would be favorite weapon, boomerang, boomerangs all day.
Yeah, do we have the super feat that lets them come back?
I don't think anyone here has teched into boomerang, but that's what I would be doing.
It just Albie is just throwing sticks at people and obliterating them.
Pretty much. It's cool that they could come back, but also, do you need them to come back? I mean, you just go pick them up and walk over and pick them up off the bodies of your unconscious victims. But yeah. Any other questions?
I was injured in the process, I think.
You were, yes.
All right, and we don't have a doctor.
Nope. Which I guess is important to ask. How much time did it take before we finally are getting back to set sail? It's at least like a 2 or 3 day walk back to the boat. So there's that. The boat trip itself took like a week, I think. Or
yeah,
no,
well,
an extra 2-3 days because we're going like from here to here.
Yeah, we'll say a 2-day voyage around the coast. So that's
all right. So 4 days,
4.
And then we spent at least a week here because Merryweather needed to recover some crew.
Exactly.
And so we waited for them.
Yep, right, between the impound drama.
Okay.
Yep, and at least 1 week of that, you can attempt to figure out how to get yourself a doctor and recover. You can always take some cash out of the bank here.
Yeah, there's supposed to be provisions in the crew for that sort of thing. Or I could just walk it off.
You could just walk it off. It's all your choice. But you do have bed rest, at the very least, for at least a whole week.
Well, it depends. Bed rest is supposed to be in a proper inn, not aboard a ship. So,
true.
If we make port, that would be proper bed rest. So
we're ported for a week.
Okay, so yeah, that counts double.
All right, so 4 days no bed rest, but a week bed rest.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just a big It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I don't know. It's looking a little bit gangrenous there. Perhaps we should cut it off.
No, it's always like that. I always look at. What are you implying?
I felt so bad getting Madame Furneaux injured when she was under my care.
No, it's all right. We got her alive. Any cave we can walk out of is good.
Cave for me.
You're not like the other people here in this pirate gang. I like you.
Okay.
Yeah, so wow. Well, yeah. Which reminds me, we're supposed to go back and destroy Port Treboy or whatever, the place where they import opium and sell cultural artifacts.
Oh, right. We were talking about it last time where we were like, did we want to make some sort of goal around this opium trade?
Well, that's me. I mean, that's just like that's like imperialism central.
I think our consensus was that the drug trade is bad and maybe we want to do something about it. And we're like, no, we should wait for Madame the Furneaux. Surely they may object to taking this as a goal.
In many ways, you want to keep me injured, so I'm like, not angry about this. Which reminds me, where's the rum?
Right.
So do we want to like open up with talking about that real quick, I suppose?
Well, what's our next on our agenda?
The next on the agenda.
Did we accomplish the goal of rescue Captain Merryweather?
You did?
Yes,
oh,
we
I'm
did.
sorry.
And we
yes, you
got the
did.
goal of Insider with Merryweather's crew.
Oh, yeah. That lot of good that's going to do us.
But let's see. The current goal is to recover Merryweather's treasure. Yep. I'll just post that right there. And there could be an alternative goal to deal with the opium. Or inject ourselves in the trade, or do something else of that like.
We're not going to inject ourselves in the trade. I thought we were all agreeing with this, that the imperialists are the enemy.
But what if we could be the enemy?
There was something of a debate while you were here.
I know.
Where I had to argue on your behalf.
Thank you, Captain Cal. That's why I serve under you.
All right. So, right, is there a goal you would want to pitch us for that we should go ahead and consider?
So, yeah, when we brought it up, the question was, what would that goal look like? And we didn't really come to a consensus on what it would be, so we held off until Raph was here.
Destroy the opium trade, and if we never accomplish it, it drops off my list. That's not going to make me cry. I've played Borderlands.
Okay, fair enough. So destroy the opium trade on Berry. What is it called?
Which means we need to make as big of a fleet as possible. But right now, if you want to go find Merryweather's treasure, that's okay too.
All right, destroy the opium trade at Shrewsbury Harbor.
Yep. Okay. It's the goal. There was some question of
Of course, Merryweather. Is going this way.
Yeah.
And we would have to go this way. So it might be something we circle back around to later. In several months.
I'm getting the strong sensation that it'll be something featured in the Marvel post-credit scene.
Right, yep.
But I guess on other things, we have taken care of everything we need to with the ships, I believe. We still have extra food in the hold if we wanted to do stuff. We do have a whole bunch of goods, and I don't remember if we sold any off here or if they were capable of accepting it. I think they just didn't have enough money, if I recall.
Did they not? I feel like I don't remember us doing much trade at Mandorinta, but I would have to imagine that they'd be capable of it. It is a trading crossroads for the whole trade winds. So
right, I think maybe they just didn't want it. We mostly have a whole bunch of obsidian and some gold and silver.
Mandorinta. Their imports are cultural artifacts, firearms, and timber. Exports are fish and precious stones.
Right, so they already have what we can give them.
Right. Doesn't mean you couldn't trade. It just means you would not be getting great prices, and I guess that's kind of the whole point.
Mm-hmm. I guess what we really need to do is go ahead and undercut everyone out here, buy as much gold as in silver and precious stones as possible, and then take them to a different system. Go somewhere else, like a Coma or Calabria, and just dump a bunch of gold on somebody.
Hell yeah. Like a haughty noble with a private army.
Because we have hundreds of tons of storage here. 240. That is more than an entire fleet ordinarily on one ship.
Ah.
So, we got a lot to work with.
Depends on fleet size.
I guess so. I'm assuming like 3 or 4 boats.
Well, remember, none of our boats are even the bigger boats.
Which again, 3 or 4 boats of trading ships showing up somewhere is still more ships than we've seen somewhere. So it would be a fleet by comparison, if nothing else. So yeah.
Flotilla.
I think part of our goal should probably be to fill up the hold with as much gold as possible. And if we go and do Merryweather's thing, we're going to start filling up the hold with gold.
Darn.
The whole gold.
So I guess all that said, there's not really much else for us to do here, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm recovered enough. I can lean on this stick.
I think a stiff breeze can push you over.
Everyone knows I have a low center of gravity.
Mhm.
I'm really doing that Long John Silver thing. Well, that's not a peg leg, but it's like a walking stick. But actually, I know how to fight with throwing sticks, so it's like, yeah, this is Blackburn Wood, you idiot! Bonk.
There you go. Never disarmed.
Albie here is the master woodcarver.
So I guess we just need to make our final arrangements with Merryweather and then try to head out to the location.
Yes. And I'm so sorry because I know we're just getting started, but I'm gonna have to ask for a quick break because my cat is losing her mind, and I want to make sure that there's food downstairs and stuff. I feel guilty. If you give me like 2 minutes, I'll be right back.
All right, cat break.
Cat break. Apologies.
That just leaves us.
Feels like I'm the GM now, according to the overlay. So,
Theta, take us out.
you remember that tsunami that destroyed the Mongol invasion of Japan? Well, the sky's starting to look real overcast.
Time to head out to sea, where the waves will be lesser.
Now it's probably time to beach the ships like Bismarck. Or the Yamato, depending on your Axis nation of favorite. I don't think Italy has a matching ship.
Well, I was wondering, on our pirate fleet sheet, is it possible to make the font a little smaller so we can see more of it on one page?
Wait, see more than one page of what now?
Well, I was wondering if it's possible to make the font smaller.
Yeah, you could. Actually, you could definitely go over to the scaling option. Like on the left-hand side is a percentage. And you could just zoom out, and that'll definitely display more.
True.
I usually zoom in because I want to read more.
My cat is no fun. He just ran off to Silk.
They don't want to be internet famous.
He does not like to be held. Come here, buddy. You were on the internet. People love cats on the internet. Now he's all mad. It's not like one of those cats that you can, like, touch. Yeah, I'm sitting on like 20 XP here, so.
Yeah, I saw you just bought up Sudden Draw and Sharpshooter, which is a great combination.
One of my favorites, because it's a big deal in Ironclaw, because in Ironclaw you can't counter unless you have a weapon. And this is why I always talk about like information, like like an enemy might see, well, she doesn't have a weapon out, so she can't counter me, so I'm gonna kill her. But then, turns out I can draw weapons when it's not my turn and surprise someone. That's one of those things that is really cool if you live in a universe where stuff like that actually matters.
Right. I definitely think I want Sudden Draw just because I have 50 different weapon types and I want to cycle through them.
Well,
so it makes sense to be able to get it.
Yeah, quick draw is you can fast draw on your turn. Sudden draw is you can draw when it's not your turn.
Yeah, what you want is
Right.
quick draw and quick sheathe, so you can do them all in one free
So
action.
you can pull it out, shoot someone, and then put it away.
Right, exactly. I also want like some of the fencing gifts, but like I'm already pretty feet heavy. I need to actually probably improve my dice some and like get a D10 or a D12 somewhere in here. But that's also just gonna be more time.
Okay. Thank you for being patient with me. I think the
Yeah,
cats are
thanks you as well.
mollified. Yeah, they didn't seem very thankful, but doors open now at least, so they can come inside and express their displeasure if they really want to. All right. Are we setting sail to the east?
Indeed.
Okay. Did we determine how long this journey was going to be?
Let's see. What is the general speed that we have to take here?
Right. I'm sorry. I have a note written down for
Was
boat
it
travel
30 or
speed
60?
30 to 50 leagues a day. So.
All right. If we're assuming that we're going to like Costa Mena as like a stop here,
If everything's ideal, it's 50 leagues a day, but that's
Yeah.
things can be less than ideal. So where are we?
Down here in Mandorinta.
Right.
Yep. We're looking at least like 590 leagues.
Okay. So we need to gird up for about 20 days, which we can do. And so how do we, like, where are we going?
We have this little red dot here, which is where the map says that the treasure we're looking for is.
You say red dot. I didn't see a ping.
It's all the way up here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Wow.
And the most sensible thing is that we probably go to Costa Mena first just as a stop by, get extra supplies, see what the local areas like pirate-wise, and then probably go out there.
Meanwhile, we have to sail through basically piracy water.
Yep. And we're a whole fleet.
Well, and what are we sporting these days? What are our ships again?
We have 2 ships with light cannon, 1 ship with what was it? The biggest cannon, I believe. Broadside.
The broadside. Yeah.
And then Merryweather's ship has a broadside cannon as well.
Well,
so 2 broadsides, 2 lights.
So we're all armed, but like, what are we? Frigates, cogs. What are we again?
A modified merchant galley, a pirate Ballinger, a modified cargo ship, and a modified cargo ship.
Okay, so we have 1 warship and 3 cargo ships, but all
I think Cow's Pride might actually be a step up. It's 13 soak instead of 11.
Okay, so we have one warship and 3 cargo. So we look like an armed merchant fleet. We look like merchant marines.
Yep.
Yeah, we're a target.
So we're a target for the big guys. The small guys will probably look at us and say, "Okay, all 4 of those guys have cannons. They're only light cannons, sir." Yeah, but all 4 of them have cannons. I liked our original plan of robbing defenseless people. Right. In other words, people might think twice before engaging us. And we're on a mission, and I think we're not hurting for money at the moment. So I think we're not looking to loot anyone else, right?
Right. We don't necessarily have to loot every village along the way to get more gold.
Okay, and we're not here to build rep or anything like that. Yeah, so no, I'm confident that we could probably sail through the water. I mean, that's the goal, to deter and also we aren't known to have anything. We actually don't have that much in cargo, do we?
We have 24 tons out of 240.
So we're high in the water.
We're very high in the water. It looks like we have nothing because we have infinite space.
So people will look at that and go, "Let's see the I mean, they get their telescope. Well, they don't have any cargo. They have a lot of guns, and also I think I can see the crew. It's kind of like,
are those lizards and sharks?
Lizards, sharks, and whatever the hell Aldi and I are. I have a feeling people, only the foolish or the incredibly strong would mess with us. Does anyone currently hate us?
I don't think we've made many enemies, except maybe the Furanther pirates at this point.
Yeah, I don't think we're actually on their hit list. Plus, also, how would they know us?
And also, technically, we've been impersonating the Bisclavate Navy for some time now. I think at some point they might take umbrage to that.
They're very far away. All right. Yes, set sail. I anticipate a voyage with no trouble.
Well, let's see if your anticipations pay off.
My intuition is nigh infallible.
Give me an intuition roll. No, that's not a roll. Let's see. Skidoo.
That's not good.
Okay. All right. You make it out into open waters. I'm going to move your ship here. Oh, crap. Changing the ship shape. All right. We'll say you're nearing halfway through your journey, which should take between 2 weeks and like 2.5 weeks. Let's say like 18 days on the outside, but so far it's been fairly clear sailing and good weather. As you make it out here, you are passing by a small and shallow archipelago in the far distance where you can spot sails. It's the first sign of any kind of presence of civilization that you have seen for many days. Stay cat. Sails of what color?
Or are they just ships?
They are currently. My God. Let's see. Actually, who wants to give me an observation roll?
Say, would
Do we have
be a use of the God? What's the name of the gift? Heraldry.
It could be.
Identifying colors is indeed one of the uses of heraldry.
We do have our lookouts who have 3d6. I suppose we should go ahead and roll that at the very least.
Yep, the madam got a success.
Tell them to do it, which gives them a bonus D8.
Oh, damn.
Again, our lookouts are worthless. Absolutely nothing can come of our lookout.
Don't forget, mine gets a bonus D8. Oh, that's right, you rolled a 2. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You were just rolling to assist. Okay, so yeah.
Technically, there are also 3 other lookouts, but I assume we don't want to roll in perpetuum.
Well, it's also like, yeah, we look and yeah, and it's like we don't see any colors. It's like, well, we're not here to murder anyone. I was curious. So, and they don't have any distress flags up. They're just parked. I say we leave them be.
Yep. Well, they do not share your sentiment.
What?
All you can tell is that they're not. You don't spot any particular flags of allegiance on these ships, but you do see their sails fill and their oars begin to move at the sight of you. And it does appear that a small fleet of 5 ships seems to be taking pursuit of you.
All right. Well, now, okay. So 5 ships. So what are they?
Now it's our problem.
You know, they are. What is I? The problem is that I have no memory for these things. They are Ballingers.
Yeah, so they're warships. All 5 of them are warships.
Indeed.
Okay, yeah, that's not good. I say we try to outrun them.
This is not a terrible plan.
We have.
Do you have a head start?
Ships. Alrighty then. Okay, I order you, everyone, come down here and blow into the sails. Powerful wizard, Crab Gaston. Use your mighty magics to summon a great breeze that will allow us to and move the winds and elements themselves as master of this earth and take us far away.
Are you sure you don't want me to cast your fortune instead, maybe? Something else I can bullshit? I suppose I'll try.
Useful?
Alright, time to go use that auspice station we spent all of our money on.
Oh, we did build an auspice station, yeah.
We did. I have like this nice little place to control the winds at my beck and call, but it's so much effort.
Alright, I'm gonna yell at my crew. There, an extra D8 because I told you to do this. And then our wizard can also add to this because an auspice station basically assists any other station.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that today, so even if nobody was there. But I can assist for D12 anyone that I want.
Right, so I order the hell. Dive into the wind, and then out of the wind, and through the currents, and other vague terminology we use in these pirate movies, even though we just film whatever the hell we want.
If we're doing the Helm of the Lawson's Folly, that's 3d8 plus a d12, and then we have the assistance bonus from you, which is a d8, and then a d12 from me.
So 3d8, let me go ahead and roll that then, plus a d12 plus a d8. Okay, that is 1.
We have an extra d12.
Oh, we have an extra d12 on top of that? Right, because of the maneuvering. That is only 4 successes. I think that's only enough for a superior escape, is it not?
I mean, only enough for a superior escape.
Well, they might be able to get that. Like, if they can get 3 on their pursuit, then they can come after us, which they could conceivably do.
Oh, they only need 3? Okay.
They
could.
I think you guys have the chart open.
Yeah, I'm just maneuvering over to the chart right now. Helm Station, you said 4 successes, right?
4 successes.
Right, so we're at superior escape.
Okay, so they need a superior pursuit to come get us, which I think is also only 3 successes, right?
Right, so they need at least 3.
All right. Let's see if they
can get 5 successes, I can get us to amazing escape, right?
Right, if we had 5.
I can't not do this then. I have to go yell at me. You folks think you know what you're doing. You move. When I tell you to move, you move. And I tap my personality. Horrible. Yes.
There you go, 5. You have an incredible maneuver.
Tossing them aside, pulling the rope. This is how you move a sail. And then, like, the beam has to swing and probably hit someone, knock them overboard. So swim faster.
I think you're going to do it. I don't have the dice to catch up. Let's see. Yeah.
That see?
3 successes.
Every one of those succeeded.
You're welcome, everyone. We've saved them from the horrible cannoneering that they didn't deserve. And now everyone take your hats off, and I'm almost silenced for Dimitri.
So, we did escape then.
You did
and
escape,
this is great.
Yes.
We're fast, we're moving fast, they can't really catch up. Technically, nothing says they couldn't continue to pursue and hope to catch us when we stop.
Well, we're not stopping, though.
Yeah, they want to get you
here, not in the middle of the ocean.
For the other, if you want to roll for the other 3 ships and like roll for everybody, which you often call in gaming rolling to fail, you know, you can.
Well, I think it's cute that we're rolling for the fastest ship, seeing as that the slowest ship is the one that surely should
have been rolling. We managed to escape. Time to leave the rest of them behind.
I mean, it's your call.
I'm just putting it out there. That's what we normally would have done in any other game.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Point.
You've done it plenty of times. We talked about.
I know that Raph has been traditionally averse to making people with bad, to forcing unfavorable rolls, or like the stealth check, right? The lowest roller on stealth checks.
Yeah, it's always the lowest roller.
If you're going to roll for all the pursuing ships, and also the question would be if the other pursuing ships would break ranks to come after us, like if we would all split up. I'm assuming that we would be moving in formation, that simplifying assumption I make here is that we all move in formation behind my ship, and they all move in formation behind their ship. If they were all going to roll individually, that means they're willing to break ranks, and which would mean what happens if one of your ships shows? What if the 5 ships they're pursuing us? Let's break ranks and get them. Okay, so 2 of them make it and engage our 4.
Right?
No,
yeah,
you wouldn't do that.
If we're in formation and we're moving as slow as the slowest ship, is my point.
What's the slowest ship?
That's a fair point.
Probably the biggest ship. I have no idea.
Okay.
Griff takes care of all the handling here.
Yeah, I think we're fine because we didn't use all of our sailing and maneuvering dice. So.
Oh right, we would have had extra dice there too.
We would have both of us would have had more dice. So I would just say let it go.
Yeah, we'll let this one go.
Roll with the lower one. So,
okay.
Yes, you're welcome to my superior captaincy.
Indeed, you get enough speed, some favorable winds, and before long you can see the.
I'm tough but fair.
The sails of your pursuers swallowed up by the
horizon. It might also be like, okay, well, they're moving pretty fast. It might also be like they might have gone, well, back when this was going to be easy, we were going to do it. But now, they might just say, fuck it. Once again, they're also looking like, wow, they're making good time. Yeah, well, they are high in the water, sir, because they have no cargo. And they're going to go, yeah, why are we robbing people with nothing again, sir?
Yeah, there's plenty of good reasons for them to.
It might be they made an earnest effort, and then I know this is also one of those things I always complain about in modern gaming. It seems weird to people. It might be, they put in an effort and then decided it wasn't worth it.
Also, decidedly, they have a purely typical crew, and we have elite commanders.
Yeah, it's also kind of like saying, like, are they using that joke from I Always Love Princess Bride? Are they using the same wind that we're using? No.
No,
here's the spyglass. Do you see that one guy over there? What? No, the other one. The one who's oh my god, they summoned some sort of horrible demon. No, I think that's just the captain, sir. I was talking about. Well, they have a wizard. All those things adding up might just be, that's what I love about this kind of campaign. All the things that add up, like,
time for them to signal the rest of their friends and send in their wizard boats.
Well, how would they do that?
Semaphore.
There
you go.
What do we do? Fire the rocket. It might be just also
got you there.
Yeah, and also, once again, they've also done their speaking in these certain times where people forget about corporate. They've also done their due diligence. It's like, yes, we gave pursuit and they broke off.
No, I think you guys did well. So
I like that.
You escaped your pursuers through the open waters of the trade winds, and you made the rest of the journey uneventfully, traveling around the coast of the Isle of Reg Salu, and eventually making harbor at Costa Mena. Costa Mena, which is a Calabrian colony populated.
An imperialist hive.
Oh, you know it. Originally belonging to the native iguana, who still make up the large majority of the population here. Their homes, many of which are created and adorned by treasures of the sea, including beautiful corals, elaborate pearl and stone masonry, and also the bits of ships that have washed ashore and crashed in the surrounding waters. There are more than a couple houses decorated in the trappings of old ships, or constructed out of the hulls of old ships as well.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that where you take a ship and you just saw it in half and you just build a house out of it?
Yeah. Very
yeah, most of the wood's there already. Why not?
Family Robinson, right?
Else, yeah. They made us drag the wreck out of the bay anyway. It's like, why would you do this? Well, because it wouldn't be as good as a house, and you live in fabulous slums imposed upon you by the imperialist order. That's why you wouldn't do
it. So I guess of temporary interest, I don't suppose they're interested in a cargo full of obsidian, are they?
Well, don't forget to strike the pirate flag when we sail into port.
Right, time to use our Bisclave flags.
Are we going to fly Bisclave colors? Do we have a letter of marque from the Bisclave?
We have Merryweather.
You have Merryweather, and
who is technically actually legitimate.
Oh, yeah. But who does he serve?
The Biscuit. He's a Navy man.
Okay, so we have Merryweather. So when we sail into port and they say, so you claim your Bisclade, what keeps us from impounding your ship as pirates? It's like, well, we have this letter of marque.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Well, so Merryweathers are legit. Oh, yeah, sure. Then I guess we'll fly the Bisclade flag, whatever.
Right, you've got them because you stole them. And you've got a legit guy to travel with. And he doesn't seem too bothered. You weren't here last session, but your encounters with Merryweather, he seems like the kind of guy who is very likable and has sort of used his charisma to rise through the ranks. But in his heart of hearts, he's totally okay with, sneaking out at night, playing by his own rules. He confessed to Gaston that his ultimate dream, is to, own enough ships and have enough capital to start his own privateering company and be free to travel where he wilst and not at the behest of the Navy. So he's not really like he's
interested in
Navy
playing
man.
ball with us here.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's seen Yellowbeard, right?
I think
so.
Yeah, I hesitate to recommend it because here I am with all my gray hair. But it does have the great line in it when the English fleet finally find the treasure. It's like, I just thought about something. The Queen doesn't know how much treasure we found. And then the captain says, yeah, or where we are.
Wasn't that the movie with Tommy Chong in it?
Tommy Chong is in it. He has a terrible, unfortunate role, but also Eric Idle is in it. It has a lot of pythons in it. Eric Idle is the captain who says, yeah, or where we are.
Okay. Costa Mena. Exports, cultural artifacts, extravagant, prescribed, and rare. Also precious stones. Imports, firearms, and gunpowder.
Same as everywhere else.
Same as everywhere else.
Oh, we really are just gonna have to leave the Isles to offload our treasure at some point.
Right? Yeah. You are, as you're making port and tying up your ships, you see that Merryweather ahead of you has stepped off the boat and is being greeted by a very fat hog, who is dressed up as a Calabrian colonialist, wearing all the finery you expect from a noble, and flanked on sides by functionaries of various types. You can see that
bureaucrats.
It's a typical bureaucrat, and you can see that Merryweather is doing his best to apply his mercantile charm on this guy, but from this distance, it does not seem like the hog is buying it. He does not seem too pleased. Yeah. It doesn't look like the negotiations are going particularly well. Do you want to intervene, or do you want to let him handle it?
I have a way with people. Let me talk.
Perhaps we should just shove you into the water instead. I'm technically the best negotiator here with a D4.
Maybe you should just let him handle it, and we'll see how it goes.
Maybe he's got this.
Let's see how he does, because assist bonuses can be claimed, so you can watch somebody fuck up and then assist them.
Right. I think I will be on the sidelines. If it looks like things go terribly for him, I will attempt to intervene.
I'm going to check to make sure my guns are loaded.
We got one success.
What's he trying? What's Merryweather trying to convince them to do?
Well, technically, he's trying to make. Not that you guys would necessarily know this. Maybe you could infer it. He's trying to make a case for, for his being here at this time at this place, and with several ships. I don't believe. Well, from the state of your ships and the state of the crew on them, there may be some questions raised as to the legitimacy of your inclusion in the
we need a liar.
Well, it's one of the things I like to point out. Like, there's the gray area here. It's kind of like, yes, recognizing that you are blooded Merryweather and that you do have a charter from king of Bisclave, to have a fleet. Doesn't say anything about your crew. Also, I can't help but notice that you just brought 50 or 60 angry Indigenes in here. Is that a shark? Not just a shark, sir. Yeah, it's also like, I know by the letter of the law I'm supposed to let you in here, but I can also levy a whole bunch of fines and taxes against you. In other words, it looks like it's not going well. Now, here's the problem. Is Merryweather, who is Calabrese, talking to another official who is also Calabrese? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That is correct.
Okay, right. So that's why the nerd Gaston says, well, do you speak Calabrese? I don't speak Calabrese.
Fair point.
I pretend to read it.
Okay.
No, I don't.
We can't intervene. It's just all our dice drop to D4 because we don't speak the language that they're speaking.
That's the joke, though. I only have D4s.
Well, yeah, you're a smart wizard or whatever. Why don't you bail Merryweather out? Here, I'm going to poke you in the butt with a stick.
I can attempt it. Let's see.
I really like this. This is pretty funny.
Double check. I don't have anything additionally to help me out here.
You don't actually have diplomacy, do you?
Yeah, I don't actually have diplomacy. I don't think I have anything else here that really helps.
Go on and talk fancy to him.
Yeah, the only thing I have is for Merryweather right now, which doesn't help. Alright, but I could at least roll 2d4 here to attempt to assist. Theoretically, I can also maybe throw my personality into it. I don't think the personality is capped, is it?
It is.
Oh boy, well, that's not gonna help. So, weird person walks off with trade pigeon. He looks kind of colonial, and he's definitely a wizard.
Yeah,
and he has too many guns.
As I remind people, that's also a claim bonus. So you can roll, see how it comes out, and then decide.
Right, so here's my attempt to assist, which does actually give him an extra D12.
Damn. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, that's when you say, like, oh, we're not terrible people. Look at me. Look how nice I am.
Ooh, nice.
I just say some nice, fancy French-sounding words, and they're just like, well, maybe they are actually a little cultured.
Yeah, I just wasted one of my 12s on you people.
For Merryweather, then.
All right, 2 successes. Yeah, you maybe do a little more. You don't add too much to the conversation. You just let your presence sort of carry. But you do assure the hog, who is obviously the mayor of this outpost of this town here, that you are all sailors loyal to the Bisclave. I guess that might be more of like a deceit or deception, but just that you are men of class.
I am a fine, upstanding gentleman of Bisclave breed. That is definitely not a lie, but definitely not the question you asked for either. But as you can see from my tone, I am very welcome aboard myself. It cannot possibly be a pirate or ne'er-do-well. Hide your head. We don't want them to see you. To put the bag on. Might change their mind.
Put the bag on. Well, the hog grunts. He sort of thrusts the papers back at Merryweather. He says that they're expecting a shipment here soon, and that the available dock space is short, so that you're welcome to stay here while there is available room. But 3 days he expects you to be on your way wherever your travels take you. But he's not going to fine you. He is going to charge you what seems to you to be a pretty stiff docking fee for all of your ships, but nothing you can't afford.
Right.
Yeah, all those optional things that they might waive. It's like, we got to apply the convenience fee.
Right. But we do at least have what we need here, which is to stop and resupply after basically half a month of travel or more.
Yeah, and I was just, sort of stream has gone. And then there's a diversity fee. What's that? Well, that's where I charge you extra because you're dirty foreigners and we don't acknowledge you have a right to exist.
You thought this was a Bisclave colony? This is actually a
This is the colonial
Adultera
era,
colony.
so we're allowed to treat you as non-persons as much as we want.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
The diversity
yeah,
fee.
hi. And I'm just sitting there going, I'm just smiling because I'm looking for a big rock or a big stick. Hey, Albie.
On one hand, I am curious what the delivery is, and maybe we could try to gossip for it, and maybe then try to plan and take their treasure from the colonials. On the other hand, we're terrible at talking with people, and we don't even speak the language still.
Yeah.
I'm good with the people.
The people.
Your people. Yes.
The iguanas who
I guess while
are
we're here, you
inscrutable.
could look into that, madame. Why don't you go ahead and see if your people happen to know what all the shipment business is about?
I do have the streetwise.
Aha! The streetwise. Well then.
So that's what I would go ahead and make inquiries about.
Yes.
I only have one success, so I would only find things that the average person would know about crime.
About crime. Well, you would know that there is a great deal of we'll call it sanctioned piracy operating out of this port. Privateers, of course.
There's corruption, and then there's people who stay bought. Yeah, so yeah, this is definitely a port. I am shocked to discover that there are other people flying Biscay flags in this port as flags of convenience for their criminal undertakings. What sort of horrible reprobate would do such a thing?
Right. You learn from the people that you mingle with that the hog, who probably needs a name, and I have a name generator over here. Let's see. Odorous. I love it. They'll call him Odorous.
His language.
It's spelled slightly differently. Mayor of Costa Mena. All right. Odorous half-faced. Mayor of Costa Mena. Half-faced is what the locals call him. But basically, yeah. He purports to be a gentleman of great bearing, but also is more than happy to take sizable taxes from privateering vessels who return with obviously stolen booty. So he's happy to take bribes to look the other way, but you need to be in his pocket first.
Right. I mean, I'm not surprised. Once again, imperialism is terrible. So yeah. So this ostensibly is a Calabrese port, but the mayor is like, yeah, but if you guys want to bribe me, which means we might see some Pharanther pirates here with the colors struck, but I only rolled one success. So yeah, so we discover, I can report this back to everyone else, what we probably already knew, that this is a corrupt port town that, sure, it's a safe harbor for all Calabrese, but if you know the right people make the right payments, which is basically what we were doing. But we're not here for that long, right? Because we're
basically here for resupply, and there was the chance perhaps that we could take an opportunistic streak.
Yeah, but we're also empty. So do we have money? Could we buy firearms while we're here?
They want firearms. They don't have firearms, I think.
Which means they would sell them to us. What do they export here?
I think it was hold on, cultural
artifacts.
Cultural
artifacts?
Yeah, it's more cultural artifacts, precious stones.
Okay.
Currently, we have 5,600 dinar in the hold.
Of what? Oh, I mean, so what?
In our safe, we also have 18 tons of obsidian, a ton of gold, and 2 tons of food.
Yeah. So there's nothing here they want. Yeah. No, I think we should just buy more food and water. And if you guys know where the treasure is, we should just get out.
Right, so I think our time here will be short, barring any incidents. We're literally here just to resupply and be convenient, and maybe even make sure we can return here afterwards in case we need repair.
We didn't get shot, and we've got a full crew, right?
Right.
All right, in and out.
So we've at least come here before, demonstrated we're willing to give money, and if we come back with in need of repair, maybe they'll let us dock.
Okay. I gotta know. I have spent too much time trying to dig through old Roll20 logs looking for names that I wrote down there and nowhere else, and I'm not
I
gonna do
understand
the
the
same
mood.
thing.
Oh, I've
Right?
been there.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, if you guys think you're ready to head out, Merryweather is itching. He's never been closer to this lifelong goal.
Just one little step closer. Let's follow the map. So we are following Merryweather's lead since he has all the information, knows where he's going.
All right. Now, as you set out, how many days are we talking here? Like 2 days. 2 days travel towards the site on the map. Merryweather's ship is taking point. And it doesn't take weather sense to notice that as you are drawing closer to your target, the winds are picking up. The weather is seeming to get worse and worse. And it is not long. You should be almost just on top of it when you find yourself blanketed in an unnatural mist that cuts visibility down quite poorly. To make matters worse, you hear a terrifying sound, one that all sailors fear, and that is the sound of coral scraping against wood. Which of your ships are shallow draft? Are all of them shallow draft?
The Lawson's Folly is still a flat bottom shallow draft.
Okay.
Let's see everyone else. Cow's Pride is deep. The Unfortunate is deep, and Merryweather's is also deep.
Okay. Well, it seems that in addition to hiding great treasures, this whole region is a maze of outcroppings of coral. And with the visibility being what it is going to be quite challenging to maneuver these ships, but still possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your shallow draft ship, we're just going to ignore. We're going to assume that it can get by okay.
The Lawson's Folly is perfectly fine, everyone.
All right. So the first thing we have to do is, okay, wizard, banish this fog.
I can make the fog worse. Or better.
Depending. I guess
that would be the question of if the auspice station might manipulate the weather enough to help everyone else out.
And the answer is no. No, it doesn't.
The answer is no.
I mean, this is I have to make disappointed Pernina.
See, why didn't you all just study wizardry and put auspice stations on all of them?
Because I didn't want to damn my eternal soul.
What kind of cowardice is that?
What good?
And common sense.
Don't try to ensorcel me with your funny words.
So, the Lawson's Folly is fine. Let's check out what the next one is. The next one is Cow's Pride. Well, Cow, you are, of course, on the ship, and so is Abla.
So you're going to try to sail through it. Okay.
So, would you like to sail this one through, Captain Cow?
Is this the only path through?
Yes. So your choices are either to do this possibly dangerous action or to anchor.
No, hold back.
Yeah, I think what we could do is we could leave the fleet here in a holding pattern while the rest of us go through. All right, I got a question to ask. So we're here for Merryweather's treasure. What is he using as his information that says that his treasure is in this fog past the corals?
A special compass and a special map.
Yep.
Okay, where do you get this map from?
The map was actually found among the bodies of the sailors that came before that were trapped in those cages.
Okay.
The reason his crew was there ostensibly was for the gold treasure, but he was there looking for a failed expedition dated from a time where they would have the map that went with this pendant. So that's where the map came from.
To do with the map?
Pendant is a key to the map. It's basically it's using landmarks that are incorrect on modern maps, but matched up to incorrectly transcribed islands.
The map is deliberately obfuscated, and the pendant lists the corrections.
It wasn't deliberate. It's old and out of date. It's an old, early Dunwasser map that had errors on it that have since been corrected.
Okay.
And the old maps don't exist anymore outside of these expeditions. So the pendant is out of date.
Inaccurate, and the pendant lists the error. So it wasn't even done on purpose, which is even funnier.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, you guys sucked so bad that someone had to make the corrections, but they made it on a pendant because they want to take advantage of that. Okay, so we have the authority. So we have the map we think is legit, and we have the pendant that's legit. But I mean, all of this to me always explains why no one's gotten the treasure. It's foggy and corals. It's a pain in the ass. If it was easy, people would have found it already.
So then this is where I'll probably query to Merryweather, because I'm going to assume the Unfortunate will also choose to anchor instead of go through this dangerous thing. Merryweather, would you like to go ahead and go on our shallow draft boat to get in there and do this exploration instead of risking the Intrepid?
To it, yeah, but he does want some of his crew to go with him because they've served with him loyally up to this point, and they also want to see this treasure. So his original crew, I guess the 6 that you guys rescued from the Echidna, he wants to take with him.
This is when
might I suggest these 5 fellows who I have selected for no reason at all.
This is when I have to take. Yeah, I want to make this brief. This is when I have to take Commander Cow and the rest of us, or Commodore Cow, aside and say, all right, so I would think the best plan here would be to leave the rest of the fleet in a holding pattern and take the one shallow draft ship, risk it through the corals and the fog. However, if we take Merryweather and his band of loyal crew, after we get the gold, there is a non-zero chance they will mutiny and try to take the ship away from us because they have the gold.
Right, that is a distinct possibility. At the same time, he's offered in a bargain tilted in his favor already. He could feel confident enough as it is to take what is his and then leave with it.
Right. So I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying that that's not. I think that's Commander Cow's decision.
What are your thoughts then, Commander?
I mean, it's the only way through anyway. So, not much of a choice to make.
Do you want to come with us?
I don't even know what kind of question that is. Or would you like to spend the next 3 or 4 sessions?
I know.
Watching.
Well, I know you're going to say yes, but thou must. So I had to ask. All right. Well, let's go. All right. What's the maximum crew for our ship?
The maximum crew for the Lawson's Folly is 30. We have 21 assigned to stations.
All right. And Merryweather is 1 person. How big is his crew?
He's bringing 7 individuals total, including himself. So that puts it to 28. And then the other 2 need to fit on the boat, and that brings us up to full capacity.
Well, you can have more people than the crew. I mean, that's just the maximum number that can be crewing stations at one time.
Right. And theoretically, on a theoretical bent, if every single one of us died except Merryweather and his crew, they could fake it till they make it out.
But in other words, I'm not that worried. You know, like he thinks his 7 people. It's like, okay, we outnumber him 3-1. I'm not that worried. First of all, I don't think he's going to do it because, like you said, he doesn't strike me as the kind of person who would. And secondly, if he did, we outnumber them 3-1. So yeah, all right, let's do it.
Okay,
it's time to navigate. Now, Commander, you have boarded the Lawson's Folly. Are you going to assert rank and become the captain, or do you still want me to be captain?
No, you continue.
All right, you heard the man. Wave my angry stick.
I love it. Merryweather takes to the prow at the very front of the ship, and he's He's peering through the fog as best he can, but you can see his hands are shaking as they grip the rail. He's so close now. I'm gonna move you guys over to the site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you go say. Plus, also, and I'm not entirely convinced that Meriwether is that great of a captain. I mean, there's way he goes to the front, just like squints into the fog. Yeah, that's going to do a lot.
We do have a very good impression of his personality as someone who doesn't think very far ahead.
No, which is why
it's a little impulsive.
But I have decided to bring 367 war clubs.
If nothing else, I think Cal's plan might just happen by default due to him deciding to do something reckless and getting himself killed. But we'll see how that pans out.
There's also a non-zero chance that we'll have sea monsters. What is the makeup of our crew? I think we should probably bring the able. Well, we need some craft.
19 sailors, 2 elite sailors, 5 elite marines, 3 militia, 1 elite cannoneer, and then the 4 of us.
No craftsmen. All right.
Technically, the militia are craftsmen. It shows Abla.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, you, as you can see from previous adventures, it's a good idea to have some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yes, you make cautious forward progress through the mist. After about 20 minutes, you can hear Meriwether's shouting from the front of the ship. Just there, look there, in the mist. And more mist. No, there seems to be a light glowing in the mist.
You can angler ship, anglerfish.
Anglerfish, ginormous anglerfish. Well, I can't say that for sure. What I can say is it is a strange and ghostly light hovering high enough off the water that it could be mounted on a ship. Far enough away, though, that it's hard to tell exactly what it is. But it is accompanied by a disturbing sound, that of a woman singing a mournful song.
Okay, cue that's bait gift.
I think, in my professional opinion, as a man of magic, that this is haunted as hell.
So, do we have a dispatch on this ship, or is that on the other ones?
We don't have a dispatch. This is the dispatch.
Oh, we could have brought the dispatch, you know.
We sold that ages ago. That was months ago.
So if we want to send an away team, we have to send them in a freaking rowboat or have them be able to swim. Do we have a shark crew?
Yes.
Though
I suppose this ship might be mostly lizards.
All right. So,
though I guess the cannoneers are orcas and sharks.
Yeah. So are we gonna go sail towards the weird ship with the ghost light?
Well, what I'll say is that I guess you're kind of like in a fog here. You don't have. This is where your coordinates sort of lose resolution. You know it's in this area, but you don't know exactly where. You'll have to change course if you want to follow this light, or you can continue to press straight through like the vector.
I think this is another case to defer to the commander. So, Commander, do you want to chase the creepy singing ghost ship or what?
Not particularly, no.
All right, so let's go bonk Meriwether and say eyes on the prize.
Okay. All right.
You heard the commander.
This could be the ship, though. Wait! Turn! Turn the helm!
Just watching that.
We are, in fact, after a ship, after all.
Oh, are we? I thought
we are.
So do you think that's actually our target, then? You didn't tell me the money was on a cursed ghost ship.
Well, if it's a ghost,
anyone yet.
If it's a ghost ship, then it's ghost money. And where can we spend that?
We don't
in hell.
We go to the ghost bar. Obviously.
I'm not going to die just to be ghost rich.
You don't have to die. You just can't drink there very well. It all goes right through you.
Yeah, Meriwether is gonna march up to the helm and begin demanding that you turn and make course for the ghost light.
Well, we call it ghost light. I don't think he calls it.
Yeah, you call the ghost light the light. But he's obviously he's in a heightened state right now.
Yeah, I figured as much. I'll heighten your state.
Captain, shall we?
How are you dealing with him?
I suppose it's what we're here for. I have to look at the commander again with like my sad face of like, this is why we have just like frown falling off my face. It's like, this is why we're here, isn't it? This is the whole thing. This was the plan the whole time, wasn't it?
Yup, ghosts.
I mean, if we don't follow the ship, then apparently we're here for no reason. So
I guess the question is here: do we need to make any sort of check to maneuver ourselves closer or through dangerous terrain? Obviously, it's going to be dangerous.
It's going to be dangerous terrain. So, right. I need to know: are you going to follow the light, or are you going to maintain course? That's really the choice we need to make before I can say more.
Mother says we should follow the light. Is that correct?
Question.
Yes. That's what he wants. Yes.
Question.
Yeah.
Does the course that we're currently on take us to where the map and pendant says?
Yeah. The map gave you sort of like a point and a vector. It's not GPS accurate, but if you continue on your vector, you'll get to that point in the next hour or so.
So the ghost light is not
concurrent. It's deviating from the path.
All right. I jump down towards the helm and I punch Meriwether in the face.
All right.
Calm down, old man.
I love it. Okay. Meriwether's crew has been with him. They've tried to insinuate themselves to help out where they can, but you guys already kind of have this ship in hand. But when they see this, they draw sabers. Shing! And Meriwether gets up and he's nursing his mouth, which if it was a light dab, probably is a little bit bloody.
Yeah, it's God, I don't know how to phrase this right. It's a mother's slap, right? It's a blow to inflict fear, not to inflict damage.
Gotcha. So yeah, he gets up rubbing the side of his face a little bit, and he holds up a paw and he says, gives a warning look to his loyal crew, and he says, we're guests on this ship, lads. I was hasty, so fine. Please, apologies for my outburst. And then he kind of goes off and sulks. It sounds like you guys are going to maintain your course, right?
Indeed.
Maintaining
course provide danger.
Everything provides danger.
Glow with respect for Commander Kyle.
You are followed by the unsettling, ghostly song, which seems to ebb and flow with the lapping of the water against the side of your ship as you cautiously and carefully navigate these corals. They become, even with your shallow draft, the corals are getting, the water is getting shallower and shallower, and everyone's ears are tensed for the sounds of breaking wood as scraping corals.
Well, we have sounders, right? In fact, we could even send some crew. Well, the first thing I would do is say, well, we could send some crew overboard to swim in the water because some of you are,
fair point.
Some of you are amphibious to sound. Do we have any volunteers? And I believe it gets really quiet.
It's very quiet. Yeah, well, most of the crew has the heebie-jeebies because you'd be crazy not to in this circumstance.
All right, everyone with heebies over here and everyone with jeebies over here. Wow, that's a lot of you.
It's a pretty even split.
Yeah, it's kind of like you guys aren't necessarily afraid of cannons. I'm afraid of cannons. Never mind. All right, well, we should do some sounding. Also, this coral. Now, coral is a living thing and normally has lots of other living things inside it. So what does this coral look like?
Brains. It all looks like brains.
Oh, brain coral.
But I mean, is it like full of life, or is it just coral and nothing else?
You know what? We'll say that the waters here are quite dead. Right? If you're going to have swimmers checking it out, it's not full of life. It looks like at once this was a teeming teeming with life, but these are let's say a skeleton reef, if you will.
Yeah. And the only thing alive here is the brain coral, and there's more brain coral than we require. Yeah, I'm just checking. Like, just make a note. I want you to be creepy and then put a footnote as fuck.
Go. Yeah. Asterisk.
Writing that down in triplicate.
There we go. However, they write that down in pigeon, in trade pigeon. Wow. Yeah. Well, let's continue to follow the course, and we're not in any big hurry. I assume we've furled the sails, and we have oars, right?
This ship I don't think has oars.
Okay,
it has sail.
So we can only sail. All right.
We can only sail.
Then we'll take it slow. We'll furl most of the sails and slowly go towards the direction. You're a navigator, right, Gaston?
As best as I can be.
Do you want to make a
navigation? The answer is I know nothing about these charts.
I think we figured out that I'm actually a better navigator than you, right? Because I actually have academics.
You are at the helm.
No, I'm the captain.
Oh, I assumed you're okay. Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm the captain.
We have a good sailor at helm.
Fair. Okay. Do you want to give me a navigation roll?
I will move to the navigation station unless I guess the commander can take over the captain station while I'm gone.
Is there actually a navigation chart?
Is there a navigation station?
There isn't
ruling the nation.
Officially a navigation station, but there would be, like, I would have to go get the map. I'd have to get the pendant. I'd have to have the two next to each other. I would have to have Gaston explaining to me what this says because I can't read.
Right. So we have our two problems here of one, where are we going, and two, getting there without destroying the boat.
Right. So I would be sitting there with the map, making pins on it, moving stuff, and say, okay, we need to move 15 degrees, and then the captain would say 15 degrees to the north by northwest, and then the helm would agree and then move. And this would be incredibly tedious.
Yes. Yeah.
So, would you like to assist me, Gaston?
I would absolutely love to assist you.
All right.
What shall we be rolling to figure out where we're going?
In academics to navigate. There's also navigation and trade winds and trade winds knowledge that help this roll. None of which we have. Navigator's a career in the basic book, and we've never hired one.
All right. So the first thing is, I definitely have no idea what I'm talking about, so I only have a D6 right now.
You're a team player, which means you can't fuck it up.
I can't fuck it up, and I can make it a whole lot better.
All right.
Right.
So, my attempt to assist you works.
All right. That is no successes.
All right.
What about the D12?
It's a D4. I can't read.
Oh, no. Well.
That's
okay. Fantastic.
So you're doing the best you can. You're not getting much help from the navigation, though. I am going to represent this as a
patient, but
okay. My instinct here is to represent this as a difficulty die on your helm maneuver.
Fair enough.
What we want, I don't know who you got at the helm, and if there's any other bonuses your helmsman can take.
The helmsman is an elite sailor.
The helm can get advice from the captain. Who is
right? So the captain could also be helping with this.
Captain Cow, would you like to go ahead and roll to assist the helm?
That's a leadership roll, right?
Yep, mind will leadership.
That's mind will leadership.
I'm not on auspice because I'm attempting to help with the maps.
I can't read.
That is success, though.
There you go. So that is at least a D8. I don't think Cal's a team player, right?
Let me double check. I don't think so. No.
Right. So our helm has a bonus D8, and I believe also has the. Oh, right. The rigging could roll to actually give us our motive and sail, which our motive is our maneuverability, which is important. So let's do 3d8, d12. Do rigging. That is 1 success. I believe I need to actually check.
Gives...
Yeah, smooth sailing gains sail motive die and ship maneuver die. So they only needed 1.
Cool.
All right. So let's go ahead and double check our motive and sail. You could also probably rule that we're only using our maneuvering here rather than our sailing or sail.
Yeah. No?
We would still get the sail bonus because that also implies we have good sails. Like you would have your fixed sails, and then you would have your jibing sails. And also any sailor people who are watching this are going to go Rafferty. You know what you're talking about. But I mean, the sails refer to our quality. In fact, I think we have easy rigging, don't we?
Indeed. So we have a D10 to our maneuver, which helps out a lot.
So that means that when someone has to swing the yard arm and you have to like move the sails like that, it's easy and quick to do that. So
we can nearly do dime turns with the Lawson's Folly.
Right. Which, if we had crappy sails, like if you were a junk and just had fixed sails, you wouldn't be able to do that.
So with the assistance bonus, the sail, and the motive all combined, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
All right.
This is the ship for exactly this problem.
Well, that's the ship maneuvering, but I don't know if while we're maneuvering through this like a champ, I'm not sure we're going the right way.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we do have Merryweather here, who actually probably should be telling us where to go to, actually. And he can read. He probably should have been making that roll now that we're thinking about it.
This is a fair point. I like it, though. This is more than enough for a superior maneuver. You can move through dangerous hazards without incident. And I think you guys managed to do that. There's a couple close calls. However, after about an hour, maybe 2 of moment-to-moment sighting and adjustments on the helm and the rigging, you guys, out of the mist in front of you appears a large ruin, a ship of immense size, every inch of it covered with creeping sea moss. The indication of a craft that has been nearly reclaimed by the sea. As you get closer, you can see small crabs scuttling across the rigging that has, again, grown moss that hangs from every exposed surface like a weeping willow. The entire sight of it causes many of your sailors to cross themselves, or whatever the religious equivalent would be. 9-pointed star, 6-pointed, whatever. Anyway,
well, it seems like it's part of the environment now. It would be a shame to remove this.
We'll see. I mean, the one crew member who has no hesitation whatsoever is Merryweather. Merryweather forgets himself and begins shouting orders to the rigging station, to the helmsman, trying to bring the ship closer alongside, close enough to swing aboard. Or it is
anchored, right? The other ship?
It is. It does rock just so slightly. It's hard to tell if it has run aground on this coral reef or if it's been anchored there, but it's not moving enough to indicate that it is adrift in the sea.
Then I guess second question, you said the light was following us as we were going through the coral. Did it follow us out of the mist?
No. The light is far behind you now.
Okay, it couldn't get through the coral like we could.
You're still in the mist, but your visibility is such that you can see this ship now in its enormity.
So I would probably suggest some amount of caution. If it's sitting there, maybe it has run aground, as has been mentioned. We should at least investigate that first with a little bit of scouting. We do have our lookouts. It should probably be visible if there's any coral like immediately on the surface, right?
Yeah. I mean, the point at which a ship runs aground on coral is still, even if it's a shallow draft ship, is still probably like at least I don't know, 5 to 10 meters below sea level, below the surface of the water.
Yeah, we have a draft. We just don't have a big one.
You don't have a big one, right? Yeah. So it's Yeah, you can't tell the point of impact that this ship is connected to the coral. But you're pretty sure that it has run aground on coral. Yeah.
Well, we need to send an away team. And if that's where the treasure is aboard that boat, we do need to send a team to go get it.
Right, so sailing closer is what we need to do, because it'd be way easier to just go ahead and stretch some ropes over, get some planks, and walk on over.
I think what we should do is we should send a team to go investigate it first before we sail over, because if it's filled with like horrible ghost monsters, we might, not.
You don't think there's really ghost monsters out here, just inclement weather and crabs.
After spending several hours talking to you in close proximity and listening to your directions on how to read this map, I don't believe a word you said.
I guess we should go ahead and spot right here and pull out the rowboat.
We can send a rowboat and an aqueous crew. Do we have sharks and orcas that are fighters, or what are our sharks and orcas?
I think we do have sailors who are our sharks and orcas, and we do actually have our cannoneers as orcas and sharks as well.
Yeah, they're not coming because we're only bringing the Marines. All right.
Right. So it's basically going to be us, and I guess Merryweather probably can't help himself from trying to get onto the rowboat.
Well, we don't have a proper dispatch.
Oh yeah.
We have at best a lifeboat, so
yeah.
We're gonna have to this is gonna be with the fox and the corn and the chicken or whatever.
I guess at the very least, I could fly over and we could take one Marine.
What we could probably do is we could probably get 3 people in the boat. So that would be Albie, me, and the commander.
And then I will fly over and wait for you.
So I guess that's what we'll do. We'll send the party over. How does that sound?
I'm
Sorry,
ready for whatever danger awaits.
First of all, I think did Arcloid go AFK?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah. I was suggesting since we can only send about 3 or 4 people over, why don't we send the party? Why don't we send Commander Cal, me, and because we always send Commander Shepard in all the missions. I guess we'll deputize somebody to be the captain while I'm gone. Merryweather has already shown that he could lose himself and possibly attempt a mutiny, and his men have already shown that they are loyal enough that they would consider obeying their captain, whether it would actually work or not. So,
right.
Just something to keep in mind. It's I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying we're not going to be surprised. So why don't we all get in the boat and go over there? Which basically means, well, the commander doesn't row, so I guess Albie and I are doing the rowing.
Okay,
and I get to watch you row.
Merryweather is dead set on being part of this team. You can, I don't know, you can pull rank on him, I guess.
Wiggle him into the boat.
Yeah, there's barely enough room for 2 people in the boat, let alone 3.
He doesn't care. He thinks he should be one of the 3 people.
I know. Okay, well, do we need to convince Merryweather to stay, or do you want to?
Well, we could try an alternate plan, and that is this. I could risk my life because I can fly over there. Maybe someone could swim over there to support me, and we do a quick scouting expedition to see that nothing is alive there. And on reporting back, we then sail closer and plank.
Albie, you're our best swimmer, right?
Yes.
Right. And Albie is armed with wood, so Albie does not sink.
Abla, but yes. Wood filled with stone. I don't know.
Well, it's not gunpowder. What I'm getting. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that it would. Oblie's gear is waterproof. Obli could conceivably do it. So
I'm going to leave quite a few things behind, so I am not quite so burdened.
And what armor do you wear?
Kelp. It's waterproof.
Right. Oblie's our waterproof person. The rest
so Abla, you and a couple of Marines, and I.
Well, and then it's the commander, myself, and Merryweather in the boat coming up behind you because it will take us time to catch up with you.
Right.
Because I'm the one doing the rowing.
So we at least have our order of operations then. Let's do it.
I will say for the record that the commander, you're welcome to row. I'm just assuming that because you're the you have the rank of commander that you don't.
So why isn't Merryweather rowing?
I mean, he will gladly row.
I believe Merryweather will probably row with manic energy.
Yeah, there we go. Well, now I'm not rowing because a third rower would throw us off.
I know.
Fair.
I hear you.
Okay, just do it Mario Party style.
Okay, I have let's see. I have transport, but I don't actually, I have vehicles, but I don't have boating.
Well, let's begin with the people who are going to get there first, which I assume is going to be the flyer.
Yeah.
And
Indeed. Should I make anything in order to fly over to there? Because it's mostly just foggy. It isn't like turbulent weather.
Right, yeah. It's actually kind of still here, which is creepy. But yeah, so I think you should be able to fly over pretty simply. Are you doing like a circle overhead? Or are you landing on the ship? Are you going below deck?
I will probably do a quick circle to see that nothing is obviously on the surface of the boat before landing.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to give me an observation roll?
Absolutely. Mind observation would be 2d6, and that's a 6. That's one success.
It's one success. Okay. Well, I'll say as you circle over the deck of this ship, the entire thing is covered in this green and gray moss. You see movement here and there, but on closer inspection, it is the, again, scuttling of these crabs that seem to have nested in every corner of this thing, of this great hulk. You see no indication of treasure, although why would you, on the hull of the ship?
Mm-hmm.
And you swear that you catch the scent, the faint scent of death above the brine and the scent of the sea moss, although this is likely just your nerves getting to you. Anything that died on this ship died long ago enough that it would no longer have a smell.
I guess additionally, I should probably make a call for supernatural in case there is, because that's what everyone's worry is as well. So,
I suppose so, yeah, give me supernatural.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and throw the supernatural dice out there. So one more success on that for spotting out anything very weird rather than something living about to attack me.
Right, no indication of anything very weird, no sense of the magical.
Alright, so everything seeing equal, I will probably go ahead and land on the deck and await for the swimmers.
Alright, then let's go to our swimmer. Swimmers? It was Abla, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Abla, who's going with probably a couple of swimming marines.
Okay. A couple being two, I assume. So
yeah, literally
a couple. So the three of you guys managed with some difficulty to scale the side of this ship. Again, the wood planks are slick with age and algae. But you make it onto the decks where you see Gaston, and you are now standing on the deck. And it is eerie. It's eerie on this ship. It's something about almost like it's rare to be on a ship when you're not being assaulted by the sound of water all around you, but somehow standing on the deck of this ship, it sounds quiet, still, almost like a ship moored on dry land. There's something off about it, and it makes you uncomfortable. It makes your crew members more uncomfortable.
Gaston will draw his rapier and point it at a scuttling crab and go, "You there, crab, explain yourself then." They're not answering, Abla. I don't know what's wrong with them.
You're not speaking the right language.
Perhaps I need to do this. Clip, clop, clip, clip, clop, clop, clip.
The crab walk.
I pinch.
No, he's just walking away. I think I insulted him. I think the rowboat is finally here.
The rowboat has arrived. So you are now joined probably 5 or 6 minutes later. Grappling hook and rope is thrown over the edge, and you are joined by the rest of your party, Cow, the other men that you took, and Merryweather, who is, while everyone else here seems like they're ready to crawl out of their skin, Merryweather looks like a kid in a candy store. He's touching the rigging and running his hands over the gross railings and banisters and laughing to himself. Yes, it's here. It's real. I knew it was. And after a couple minutes of cursory examination of the deck, hello cat, my parrot cat, he makes his he begins looking for entry below deck.
Yeah.
Right. All seems well on the surface. Now we need to merely go below. If this thing is propped up on anything, we should be able to spot some damages or maybe water. And if so, then we know that we'll need to get our crafts crew over here as well.
As we approached, since we were along the water line and Abla here actually swam along the water line, did we see any visible damage?
Oh, maybe some cosmetic damage. It looks like this ship was in a battle.
Gaping hole in the side.
It looks like she should be seaworthy based on what you've seen so far.
If we unbeached it, we don't have a crane, unfortunately.
Right.
I mean, unbeaching it, we probably don't have the right equipment for it because we would have to somehow pull it off, and we don't have disaster relief or a crane as our standard equipment.
Mm-hmm. That could prove to be troublesome getting this thing out of the reef.
Yeah, so it's remarkably intact. But then again, I guess because there's nothing that lives out here, I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to let Merryweather go below decks and get possessed or murdered by whatever horrible supernatural thing is here first.
Yeah, we'll go side by side.
But I can't quite let him do that because I do believe in, I believe in camaraderie, but also Merryweather is of the blooded and is not equality. So
right.
I'm a rich tapestry.
I'm complex. I've got layers.
Yeah, I've got layers.
All right. Okay. So you're saying you are going to follow him below deck. Is anyone else joining?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
I guess I'll grab. I will wield Gaston as protection against evil.
Should I be preparing magic or should I be preparing sword? I'll go with the staff for right now.
Yeah. Well, you're the wizard.
Okay.
Yes, I know. I think this is the most appropriate, just in case. Also, it might do less damage than shooting into the hull.
Well, yes, the ship's go, but also, like, if it's anything that can only be dealt with magic, you're the only one who can do anything.
Ah, yes. Well, time to be ready.
All right. And
okay. All right. As you go below deck, the decor is much the same as above deck. The cramped corridors and wood have been warped with age and seawater. You find yourself trying to maintain your footing on the slick and mossy floors of this slightly askew tilted vessel. You make your way down to the holds where the treasure ought to be and find that and here I'm going to show my ship ignorance. There is a door that has been locked, apparently. And to your great horror, Merryweather proceeds forward, seemingly heedless of this. Scattered around the door, multiple skeletons of long dead sailors, some of which seem to have died clawing at the door itself, but Merryweather kicks them aside casually.
I can't help but notice perhaps building this door into the ship's hold is a terrible idea for precisely this reason, for I have no doubt that these men were attempting to get to the food stored behind it. Let this be a lesson in ship design to you all.
Yeah,
what a
again,
horrific design. Why would you ever want a ship like this? It's yours, Merryweather.
I don't know, but I'm imagining that there's a door, and there needs to be a door for this to work. So yes, there's a door into this hold, and it appears to be locked. Merryweather tries it, and it does not open.
I don't suppose you have an ancient key.
He says no, but he starts to. He says this as he starts to throw the full weight of his shoulder against the door. You can hear the old swollen wood creaking and splintering. Merryweather seems like he's a pretty strong guy, actually. And he's either going to break this door or break his shoulder getting it open.
We aren't subtle at all. We don't understand how to actually break this lock, do we?
We could,
but never know. I can't help but notice you're flexing and readying yourself. Perhaps you do.
You could just pick the lock.
If someone knows how to, yeah.
Of course.
Abla doesn't have the tools for it, but I do have plenty of craft.
Yeah, actually, yeah, this is a good point, Abla. You're actually the perfect person for this.
I mean, I was going to volunteer, but actually, yeah, in the interest of camaraderie, I would be happy to assist you.
So
here,
what would the roll be?
You can use my lockpick.
Speed and craft?
Let's see if I can assist.
It is completely unrusted, you see, for they have made it out of chrome. In fact,
the gold-plated
every
lock.
surface here is chrome, including the eating surfaces.
That's a D8 bonus for me.
Ooh,
nice.
There you go.
Yeah, I know how to pick locks. I have useful people skill.
I like it. Well, yeah, it's Abla makes short work of this whole. We're not even just talking about lock, but like whole door mechanism, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, Abla probably would just lift the door off its hinges before we.
Right. Yeah. Proper application of leverage and. Bam.
No one's a better carpenter.
Yep. Short work. Merryweather is antsy while he watches, but even he's impressed with the speed at which you disassemble this door. And as soon as it slams off its hinges into the passage beyond, he's in. It's dark in here. I guess it would be dark all around. I assume you guys would have lanterns probably lighting your way. But as he bolts forward, no lantern in hand, you hear him quickly crash into a mountain of what sounds like gold coins. You hear a cry of victory, a ha-ha, from the darkness within, and the tinkling, shifting piles of treasure beneath him, presumably in the darkness. What do you do?
You chose poorly.
Well, time to shine the lantern in there, I think. Who has the lantern here? Gaston will go ahead and step inside and investigate.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we have here? Piles of gold?
You have a vast treasure before you. Piles of gold, hills of gold. Basking in the gold, you have one very pleased lion captain. Mm-hmm. But you are less enthusiastic as your lantern light reaches the far corners of this hold, and you can see that perched in a seat that looks to have been carved from very fine wood, a throne, if you will, sits the skeleton of what can only be the captain of the ship, based on what remains of his tattered clothing. And that around him, too, lie the bodies of various other skeletons wearing shipwright clothes. I mean, they're skeletons, and their smiles, their skeletal grins give the impression of glee as they died with their great wealth.
Gaston can merely start to turn to Mocker and go, you're the captain here, the one responsible for this disorganized mess. Just look at this, it's piled everywhere. I bet you didn't even enumerate all of this.
Right.
I'll have to do all the counting myself.
In fact, it looks like if there was some order to this, if there were chests or crates of some kind that they had been pried open by the crew and spilled out into this disorderly heap. Essentially, yeah. So,
quick
sorry.
question.
Yeah, what's up?
What's the origin of this treasure? Do we know?
Merryweather said something to this effect to Gaston that his great grandfather knew of this treasure. That this ship belonged to the Bisclavaret Navy. They had basically spent a multi-year campaign colonizing, essentially, discovering the wealth of various nations in these islands and loading this ship down with tribute for the king of the Bisclavaret.
Gold. This is cultural artifacts.
So yeah,
too.
Stepping into the room and looking at like a piece of gold. It's not like Bisclavaret stamped gold. It's like pieces of as you said, cultural artifacts.
Indeed.
Oh, okay. So I guess
some of them are coins.
I guess in whatever lamplight is available here, given whoever's holding it, I guess I would look back at the Madame and say, I think we found a way to solve that opium problem.
Could be. Okay.
Mother, mission accomplished. I hope you're pleased.
Yes, he stands up and he stretches and he turns around and he's got a manic grin on his lion face.
And I hope and also the Madame understands every implication therein.
You're muted, right? In case you're saying anything. No? Okay, continue.
I'm just shocked and awe and also saluting our commander, our Commodore.
While they're doing that, Abla's going to take the safe route and throw an axe at the dead captain, just in case he wants to get back.
Be sure if there's any scales with money on them that you don't touch those.
Yeah, those are for One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah.
Jumping at ghosts a little bit, are we?
I'm just, I don't know. I'm just looking at all this going, yeah, this is exactly what I. This is just like, just evil. It's just like, yeah, all these people starved to death in a ship full of money. I mean, imperialism. What are you gonna do?
It's money from the past that's going to save the future. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to add a couple more skeletons to the pile, though.
Well, I don't see any problems here at the very least. The ship is in shape. The treasure is all here.
Yeah, we had to get our ship closer. We can start looting it. So I suppose we should go.
Well, hold on.
We only have to evict the crabs.
You got to evict the crabs. Abla throws an axe at the captain. It thuds through his hollow chest into the wood at the back.
It's bad luck to disrespect the dead.
Yeah, it's a move that a lot of people weren't anticipating. Maybe you were. Merryweather jumps and looks at you incredulously, opens his mouth to say something, but you can't hear it because of the cackling, shrieking laugh that echoes through the chamber, seemingly originating from the seat of this dead captain. It is going to be a scare tactic.
So don't worry, Abla, I got your back. It was moving. We all saw it was moving.
So I believe they're rolling their attempt to scare us, and we're attempting to roll to resist.
This is a roll of body, will, and presence, isn't it?
Yes. Targets body, will, and presence, targeting Abla.
Right, and then we see if it...
okay, and then if it rolls well enough, it'll sweep to somebody else.
Indeed, yep. That's two
that very well could be the case.
I'm just looking at my sheet real quick.
I need to find a good skeleton gif here.
Right. 2 successes, tied. Okay, so you resist scare attempt, but you can see now, sitting where the skeleton once sat, a ghostly, semi-transparent captain. His his ghostly flesh rotted and distorted, where once was a wolf, probably of large, strong build, but now missing fur, missing an eye, his mouth a gangrenous mess. There we go. Yeah. Okay. The ghost rises and its mouth opens as if it's saying words, but all that you hear are shrieks of ear-splitting laughter. As he says this, the bodies of his crew begin to animate into skeletons.
5 steps back out the doorway for Cow.
Yes.
I guess we should probably put ourselves to a map then.
That is a great gif. I just love it.
I'm a little disappointed that Commodore Cow takes 5 steps back. Commodore Cow should jump.
Well, 5 steps back is something you can do slowly, and sometimes people don't notice that you've done it.
Yeah.
Whereas a jump is very obvious.
Well, I've always wanted to punch a skeleton.
So my knowledge of things like this, just I suddenly expect the door is gonna slam shut, or some shit.
Or some shit.
That'd be hilarious. You jump back, the door slams shut, and you just, I'm just out.
The door is
now
not.
There's 4 skeletons on your side, Cow.
Well, it's more my thought process is I can't punch a ghost.
I always reiterate what I always say. I'm not afraid of a skeleton. That's just a person, but less.
Yeah. It's not a the door is not closing, but there are skeletons out there too, to recall. They're also animating. I'm going to quickly throw together a map here. Do we want to take our mid session break while I do this?
Yeah, let's take a little bit of a break. Let you fix up the map. All right.
Cool. Okay.
There is. I just remember there is one annoying thing. Slaying doesn't work on skeletons.